So this is another recap of my TikToks from this time March. So there's a lot of them here, that's why the video is so long. So let's get the ball rolling, shall we? So this was part of my series on follower avatars that I was kind of making on my own. This one was based off of a cosplay or a gacha that I saw for this person. But as you can see, I also had the felt tip pen that I really loved, and yeah, more abuse of the slow-mo. I think I get rid of the slow-mo thing later, but it takes me a while. So I was still new to the whole filming thing, and I don't know, I still couldn't make up my mind on where to put the camera, and just basic stuff that it takes some getting used to, you know, just kind of getting comfortable with the medium and the format. So I don't really erase on camera anymore because it's just so frustrating and nearly impossible. So I usually just leave that to the off-camera stuff. At this point I was using my water brush a lot. I did a review on it, so I was putting a lot of effort into it. At least I don't know if I'd made the video yet. I kind of forgot when I made that, but we've got me doing my water brush stuff, and I was doing a lot of talking about it because this was in real time, so I think I was doing a little bit of a voiceover. I actually used like the beta test version, so I was able to do voiceovers before it was official, and then all of a sudden I couldn't figure out why, and then I realized, yeah, sometimes you gotta go through testing to do stuff. So with this piece, I was doing it based off of a cosplay that this person had done, which I thought was really adorable. It was like a galaxy deer, which I thought was super darling and adorable. So, oh, another art supply review, hooray! Got that going. So we did a super zoom close-up, and then we were talking about the brush pen with some art in the background, and this one was really fun to record. And what's funny is the guy didn't even know that I'd done it, even though I tagged him, because he's so popular that he hardly ever sees anything. So the fact that he did like a shout out duet was like really cool. I was really happy with that. I wish I could tag everybody that I did all that with, but I don't know. That'd be cool. But it's all on my TikTok, so you can go ahead and go, because I tagged everybody on the TikToks. Because there's no reason to not, you know, give everybody the credit for their characters. Ooh, I remember this one. Because it was voiced over to a funny video. I wish I could play you the audio, but I don't want to get struck down by the DMCA. That would be bad. Male Harley Quinn, of course. And then here's a D&D character. So if you don't know what Dungeons & Dragons is, Google it. It's just a great thing. I love it. You can do Dungeons & Dragons of pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be fantasy. It can be Pokemon, Star Wars, whatever you want. But the audio for this was actually really cool. I only found it on an accident, so it was pretty awesome. It's like a hard dubstep sort of style. Liked it a lot. Yeah, and there's more slow-mo. More slow-mo. Sorry. So this guy was actually a friend of a dude that I already made a video for, so I felt bad that he didn't have any like fan art, so I was like, let's make some fan art for him. So I did, and I made him like a super stylized like persona, and he and his buddy really liked it, which I really appreciated. The only thing I didn't like was in the video you could see the paper texture, which was kind of bothering me. So I that's what I get for using watercolor paper cards. I like it enough, but I know that some people get bothered by the texture. I like hot press paper with a smooth texture myself, but I mean, I don't mind watercolor paper or textures. It's just getting used to it. So we did a review on different pens because I was curious and someone had asked about it. I forgot who it was, so I'll have to double back and check, but so I did a test of the water fastness and eraser fastness of different pens, and yeah, I was holding the rapidograph pen wrong, and then I fixed it, yay! So, like I was talking about in the video, everything was eraser fast, but not everything was water fast, as you can very well see the smear right there. It's pretty horrific, but It's pretty awesome. The video was fun to make. And that's kind of when I started really taking the art supply reviews seriously and talking about different art supplies as a whole. Because, I don't know, it's popular, but it's also fun. And I liked the idea of spreading something that people actually like to watch. I like doing what I like to do, but I didn't mind, not necessarily catering, but giving people a glimpse into something that they'd like to see. It seemed like art supplies were something that people rarely ever talked about. They talked about, oh, I use this and this, but they weren't talking about, well, here's a review of this product, and here's what I think about it. Because it's one of those funny things where you know it's a luxury, so you don't necessarily want to spend all that money on it, but then other times you're willing to take the plunge. But when it's a really expensive product, of course you'd want to do some research first. In this clip we just have me inking an illustration that I just kind of whipped up. I just wanted to do an inking practice with my G-nib, my happy G-nib. Pretty much my favorite because of all the variation you can get, and then I'll admit, I don't like inking with a brush because I tend to be messy with it. So I use a Sharpie. Although I'm gonna get more practice with the brush because I have a couple of new brushes that I can use for inking, which is nice. But for some reason I just wasn't in the mood to use a brush. I think part of it has to do with the whole, this paper was not built for ink. So here's another fun project. I was in the mood for drawing a furry, so I was like, you know what, let's draw a cutesy wootsy rabbit. This was before I figured out what Beastars was, so yeah, I wasn't trying to copy Haru or nobody. I was just painting a bunny. She's adorable though. Or he, no judging. I'll draw anybody in a skirt. And with the color pink. Yeah, that white gel pen is actually pretty awesome. It's by Uniball, I believe it is. I did a review on it at some point, but it's really nice. I like it for smaller details instead of using a brush, because I use like one brush for my white ink because I don't want to contaminate it with color and I don't want to contaminate it with ink aside from white ink. So it's kind of a little frustrating because I only bought the one size and I'm like, I really need to buy another one. So we'll see. Might do that. So in March, I got into a phase of just making a bunch of TikToks. So I made a bunch of little sketches, and a lot of these are actually up on my wall because I've got my desk in a corner, so I like putting it everywhere. It's just art surrounding me. It's nice. And I like changing it up every once in a while. But this one was done on some, technically it's manga paper, so it didn't hold the color very well, and that's why it looked really chalky. Even up on my wall, it looks a little funny. And we've got another inking practice. This one was a character that I was starting to draw very frequently because I was playing with the idea of this character. I don't know how they'll fit into the universe that I've created, but I sure do like them. They're actually a set of twins, of course, because I'm a twin, so I gotta put the twins in there. Twinsies. Going with the white pen again. And so help me, it's another slow-mo. Oh my gosh. That's bad. Someone help. Send some reinforcements to stop the slow-mo camera. Oh yeah, here's another person. This is Bappo Not Hacko. I do remember that username because I ended up following them on TikTok. They do a lot of Siege 6 stuff. Rainbow Six Siege, yeah, that's how you say that. And then I went through a phase of witches because I thought they were adorable. So I made one. Turned that into like a trading card, and then I made another. Turned that into a trading card. And then the next one is kind of funny because she doesn't look like a witch. She looks like a wench. So there is that. Very buxom blonde. Or I would imagine she's blonde. And then I talk about Fineliners. Of course, we have the Sakura Micron, which is really famous, but it's a fine liner, not a technical pen. Don't let people call it a technical pen. It's not. It's got a felt tip. It's not a technical pen. Technical pen would be like the Rapidograph by Kohinoor or the Rapidograph by Rotring. So I talk about the differences in the TikTok, and I might make a video for YouTube about that, but they're not the same thing, dude. Not the same thing. They're both eraser fast, although the Rapidograph takes a lot longer to drive, and the price difference is kind of astronomical, but totally worth it, in my opinion. And then we'll talk about brush pens, because I went through a brush pen phase again. Love my brush pens. So this is the fiber tip, and I was demonstrating the way that it moves with the swish effect. And then I was talking about the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. That one's pretty expensive, but I'll say I like it a lot. I like them both. I think they both have their place, but if you're looking for a very natural feel, definitely go with the Pentel. Can't beat it. There's my water brush. Oh my goodness, I got this at a steal. I went to an art store and they were selling them for like $3, and I said, why yes indeed, I'll take it. And then I pop off the cap and the little black knobbly thingy goes flying off into the distance. No idea where it went. I still haven't found it. And of course my super gallon of water. I used to fill this the old-fashioned way by sticking it in the thing and squeezing it, and I was like, oh, this is just insane. So I got pipettes because that makes life so much easier. And then there's me abusing the pen brush thing by squeezing it way too freaking hard. But on the bright side, I got some color, so yay. They tend to have a plastic fiber, like a plastic fiber bristle. It's really neat. And like you could see with these ones here, these are all different brands, all different makes, from generic to brand name. They all have a similar tip where it's like a plastic fiber bristle thing. So it mimics the natural hair. It's very much like the pocket brush pen. I like them a lot. And then here we talk about the non-reproducible blue pencil. I like them enough. It's just, I think what bothers me about them is because they're so waxy. If you go to ink something, there's a chance that your ink will be rejected by the pencil. So you got to be really careful with the pressure you use. And if you use too much pressure on certain types of paper, when you go to scan it, even in black and white, it'll pick up the actual crater and pick up the shadow from the scan. So you got to be really, really gentle. I tend to use them for corrections, not really for underdrawings. I'm a renegade, to be honest. I draw really hard, and I still go with the ink. I can draw a messy sketch and I'll still ink it. It's really bad. And then there's my whole collection. Got a lot of them. And then I talked about the pencil sharpeners, because I have some pencil sharpeners just for the non-reproducible blue, just for my red, and then just for regular graphite. I almost never use regular graphite pencils. I don't like them. I think part of it's because they're so light. And then I think the other reason is because, well, I think it's because they shrink and it bothers me. It freaks me out. And there's my wobbly camera stand again. Hooray. But this is a friend's dog. I wanted to do something abstract, so I went a little wacky with the colors. It was kind of cool, kind of effed up. I'm not sure what I was thinking. But, yeah, I went with a natural look, and then I was like, no, colors. Color bomb. Color explosion. Color everything. Just greens, blues, purples, pinks, everything. All of them. And then we have this weird chihuahua. Looks a little concerned. So with this one, I'm talking about the difference between a drafting pencil and a mechanical pencil. I actually have upgraded my pencil since. It's kind of funny. I've been looking to upgrade my pencil because I wanted something a little bit more me. So either a color or a pattern or a design, and I just couldn't find anything that I liked, even online. I was looking all over the internet and I could not find anything I liked. But I found a mechanical pencil that I like. It's not a drafting pencil, which I've been drawing with for years, but I actually really like this one. I think I like it more because even though it's technically a mechanical pencil, it's still got a long enough pipe sleeve that you can use a ruler with it and not jack it to hell. So it's kind of nice, and it's a color I like, it's a weight that I like, it's still rectangular-ish or hexagonal or something, and it's pretty neat. Ooh, here's that video about the white pen. Pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. Can't hardly see it on this screen, but there it's better. I like it because it's easy to use, it's user-friendly, it's easy to carry. So it's a very great tool in my opinion, particularly for just little things, not anything crazy. And then I went through an old sketchbook and I decided to redraw a sketch, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so cringy. Looking at my old sketches is kind of scary because so many things have changed since then. I don't know if I've talked about it on TikTok, but I know I've talked about it via other places, but so many things have changed since I was drawing like that, so it's neat to see how what has happened to me has influenced the way I draw. And let me get a little clip about erasers. I love my novelty erasers, not gonna lie. I like kneaded rubber erasers, but I feel like when they get dirty, they don't erase as well. So I like my novelty erasers. Plastic is always gonna be my favorite, I think, because I think it does a better job. Although the one complaint I have, which I totally get, is it kind of pushes into the paper, which is a little abusive. Ooh, montage. Montage time. Montage of all of the art cards I did for different people on TikTok. It's pretty cool. Oh, that's the end. Hooray! So, if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I know you've heard the spiel before, but check out other videos. I do videos about apparently a few other things. So, I'm not really sure where I'm going, but we're gonna go somewhere, okay? We'll see you later. Have a good one.